This is John Kohler with DiscountJuicers.com. Today I have a very special treat for you. It seems, especially during the holiday season, I get the question, hey John, what's the best juicer to travel with? Well, I think I'm the expert that could answer that question. I sell juicers, but also probably one of my biggest hobbies is traveling. And many of you may not know that. So I travel with my appliances sometimes and take them with me to far-off lands to juice, while I'm there. That being said, these appliances run on 110 volts. So if you are going to a foreign country, I'd recommend maybe a hand-crank juicer or stick to buying your juices over in foreign countries. But if you're traveling within the United States, one of these two juicers are the juicers that I would recommend to travel with. And there's a few reasons for this. Number one, I like these juicers because they're fairly compact. These juicers are some of the smallest juicers that are going to juice the produce you want to juice the best. So when they're smaller, that means they're lighter, that means less to pack, that means less space in your luggage. And now with airlines charging you, $25 a pack of luggage, and check it in, you could put these both in your carry-on. That's actually another advantage. Like blenders, I've gotten stopped by the TSA when I take blenders because they say the blades are sharp. Well, the blenders I take, the blades are not removable, but still they don't allow the blender carafes. Obviously your results may vary with the TSAs, but with both these juicers I have no problems. I mean, this one does not have any sharp parts on it at all. This one has some teeth on it that, I don't think could be really used as a weapon because it's not pointed or anything like that. But, I have two of these juicers on here because everybody that travels and that juices are going to juice different things. And that's why I recommend one of the two models. So let's go over them right now. This one here is called the Lequip 110.5 or the Lequip Mini. This one's a really good unit. It's under $100. And basically, if you have at home now something like a Breville, an Omega, Big Mouth juicer, or a Jack LaLanne, this is your baby. This basically works the same way. It's called a Centrifugal Ejection juicer. And this juicer is really good at juicing things like hard vegetables. So things like carrots, things like celery, things like cucumbers, things like apples, things like pears. Other fruits, it's going to do fairly well too. Like if you want to juice pineapples when you're in Hawaii, it's going to work fairly well with that too. But what it's not going to do, it's not going to do leafy greens that well. And the way this works is that you put produce down this feed chute here, and it goes into this fast spinning blade. And this blade literally shreds it up, and as it shreds it, the juice and the pulp is flung into the screen. The juice goes through the screen, comes out the spout in the front, and the pulp gets ejected out into the back. So this style is good if you want to juice mostly hard vegetables when you travel, or even at home. And both these juices are good to use also at home as well. So let's go over to the next unit over here. This one is called the Omega 8003 Nutrition Center. This is what's called a single auger style juicer. So if at home you have something like a Green Star Elite, or you have a Omega 8004, 8006, or you have a Samson, or you have another slow or low RPM juicer, the Omega VRT, I think this would be a good option for you to have when you travel because this one will juice the leafy greens and the wheatgrass. And that's where this one falls short on that side. It doesn't really juice the leafy greens and the wheatgrass. So if you want to do the majority of your juices with leafy greens and wheatgrass, and this thing will also juice carrots and apples and everything else, but this one's a lot more efficient at carrots, and also it's just faster. This one runs at much higher RPM, and this one runs at a lower RPM. So if another one of your criteria could be nutrient quality of the juice. So the faster the RPM, the lesser the nutrient quality. Does that mean the juice is no good because it runs at a high RPM? Of course not. The juice is great. Any juice you make at your home or in your hotel room is going to be far better than any canned or bottled juice, even Odwalla and other juices, because they have been pasteurized, and when they pasteurize them, it basically destroys and reduces some of the nutrition in the juice. So fresh juices are always best. So this guy runs at a low RPM. It's also going to be quiet. This one's going to be a little bit more loud. So if you have to get up and your hotel room has paper-thin walls, this is a much better juicer because you won't disturb your neighbors. And you know, I had one story one time. I was in the hotel room watching TV at a normal level, and some guy next to me, or girl, or somebody, called and complained. And then the front desk called me. Man, that was crazy. So this juicer will not disturb your neighbors. It runs really quietly. They won't even know you're doing it. Sometimes when I bring my blender, man, I'm cranking up the blender so high, I'm like wondering, man, can other people hear me? Well, I never got in trouble for it anyways. So this is the one to bring if you're going to juice most leafy greens or do a lot of vegetables. If you want to juice more fruits, then this guy is definitely better on that side. But this one also will juice fruits. I put pineapples through here, and even, you know, peeled tangerines works quite well. So let's see. The other consideration is the space and the weight. So the reason why I like the Omega 8003, and they also have the 8005, which is actually the same thing as the 8003, but it's in a chrome model, or chrome plated plastic, and it's going to cost you about $30 more. So the white one's fine, especially for your travel juicer. But this is also the same as the Omega 8004 and 8006. Well, why don't I like those for travel? Well, because basically that model has been redesigned, and the housing is just significantly larger. And it doesn't have it has a built-in handle versus the flip-up handle, so this just saves space. So this motor body housing is basically smaller on the Omega 8003, and that's why I like this over the other models. So when I take my juicers and equipment with me, in most cases I carry them on. I don't like to check my equipment in, because when you check things in, you know, they can get lost, they can get delayed, and they could also get broken, and plus the TSA is probably going to paw through your stuff anyway, whether you check it in or carry it on. And that's the other thing. If, you know, this goes through the TSA belt and they're x-raying it and they're going to see something in there, you will probably be delayed when they open it up to find out, you know, what is this motor-looking contraption. And, you know, it's not every day that they get somebody traveling with their juicer, unfortunately. So it's kind of like a different thing for the TSAs. But once they see it, they realize what it is, and they may ask you what it is, and you tell them it's a juicer. You're fine to travel with it. So next, let's go ahead and pack up the Omega 8003 in my carry-on luggage to show you how I pack it and how I carry it onto the airplane. So here is my roller bag that I carry on with me. It's the largest allowable size for the carry-on bag, and I like that. It's definitely handy. I generally just take one carry-on and a backpack when I travel. I don't like to check bags. It takes too long unless I really have to. So we can just open it up, and you can see I have some clothes in here, you know, ready to go. I sometimes have my bags packed and always ready to go. A couple of other things that may come in handy when you travel, especially if you're bringing a juicer, are a cutting board. So I have a nice thin wood veneer cutting board. Pretty nice. And this actually gets kind of heavy. If that gets too heavy, then I'd highly recommend just a plastic flexible cutting board. Really easy. Another thing that comes in really handy is a colander. All those times you buy the produce and you're just trying to wash it in the bathroom sink. You know, so I just open this up, put my produce in there, and crank the shower on. In many cases, I'll bring my own shower filter and put that on the shower too. Oh, and the TSAs love when they see a shower filter because it looks like a pipe bomb on the x-ray. But I'll put all my produce in there and just turn the shower on, and then wash this in the shower, because most bathrooms at hotels don't have a nice, you know, area to get stuff under. It's just enough to wash your hands. So yeah, the folding colander, full flat colander. Nice and smart and easy. There's a couple bucks, actually. Other thing that's going to be really important is a knife. So, you know, I don't check bags. If you do check bags, you can take real knives. If you don't, then you can take plastic knives. So this is a plastic mini lettuce knife. I have a larger one too. But yeah, I take either the smaller one or the larger plastic lettuce knife. Usually available at the dollar store. And, you know, you can get through with these. And these do a decent job of cutting most things. I even cut pineapples with these. You know, it does take some skill to do that. So let's go ahead and put this stuff back in there. So to pack up the juicer, it's really easy. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my clothes here and, you know, basically make sure the juicer's in the middle of the bag. So first, obviously, we're going to take off the main body housing. Real easy. This is really easy to pack and take with you, actually. Just take that off. And the main part that you want to pad out, and some people, you know, in some cases what I do is I'll take bubble wrap and bubble wrap this and then put my clothes around it. But lately I've just been, you know, taking it and just wrapping clothes, you know, around around the juicer. So just wrap your clothes all around it. put it in the bottom, in the bag, you know, and stick all the clothes packed around it. And this is your carry-on bag once again. You know, if you were gonna check this in, I'd probably pack it a lot better, because those guys, when you check the luggage in, you know, I kind of wonder how they handle the bags. So anyways, here's my pair of pants. We could take the main housing there and just wrap it up. Real simple, real easy. It's gonna be nice and padded. Put that in, and then just, you know, stick the funnel in. Put that up. Zip it up. All right, and we're all ready to go. So that juicer probably weighs about 15 pounds, so it adds, you know, a considerable amount of weight to your bag. So in my experience, it's been really rare where they actually weigh your carry-on bag, because there is a carry-on bag weight limit. Except if you're in Europe, then they're pretty, you know, stringent about that. They usually will weigh your carry-on bag. But otherwise, I've had no problems with, you know, getting my bag quite heavy with my appliances and the other things that I bring. So if I had to pick just one juicer to bring with me traveling, it would be the 8003, because that just better meets my personal juicing style. I don't tend to juice a lot of, you know, hard root vegetables. I tend to juice more leafy greens, celery, and cucumbers, and some other things as well, maybe some apples or some pears to make the juice sweeter. So that's the one I like, and I like to travel with. It's really durable. I've taken it on trips before, and it'll serve you well on all your trips as well. So hopefully you've learned more about the best juicer to travel with. Once again, this is John Kohler with DiscountJuicers.com. Be sure to visit DiscountJuicers.com/YouTube for special promotional offers for our YouTube visitors.